There we are. Welcome. My name is Conception2. Thank you so much for donating for this cosplay. Wasn't enough to get me to shave my quarantine beard, but here we are. Thank you for joining us for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone for Game Boy Color, a very different version of this game than you might be normally used to. A lot of people know the 3D action platformers for Harry Potter games. This is a 2D 16-bit turn-based RPG, and we're gonna try and beat it as fast as we can. So we'll get the timer started here in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So right away we skip all that beginning stuff where he tries to get his letter and he's with his uncle. We go right to Diagon Alley. And we're gonna get our wand right away. This is Ollivander, not a garden gnome. And our wand is gonna come with a couple spells by default, despite us never having been to magic school yet. But it's just gonna be coming with those, so you just gotta suspend the disbelief a little bit. Like I said, thank you guys so much for the donation for the Harry Potter cosplay. It is very warm, but let it be known that I will do anything for charity. Alright, so first thing we do have to do here is this individual is going to give us a choice of 4 Witches and Wizards cards decks. We do have to choose a specific one, which is the Screen deck, Gregory the Smarmy. It's going to be very important for a couple of uses later on. And then we get a couple card combos and some cards to use right away. Alright, first thing we're going to do for some safety here is we're going to grab an extra potion, which is over here in a stack of crates. Dodging NPCs as we go. And then we're going to head right into Gringotts. Now, this run is pretty safe for the most part. I mean, there's a lot of RNG that will determine whether you can go as fast as you want or as slow as it can be, but there is a glitch that is set up in these beginning parts of the game that is a little sensitive to the encounters. So I'll kind of explain that as we're going through here. But if we're entering Gringotts, we're basically looking for a vault to get some money to buy our school supplies here. We're going to be trying to take this as carefully as we can to avoid hitting the least amount of encounters as possible. And then we're going to end with a boss fight here as we go on. Now, after the boss fight, it is crucial. It's absolutely crucial. This is fine. It's absolutely crucial that we don't hit an encounter from the boss fight going forward until after we get off the train. It's going to set up the most important glitch in the run for us. For whatever reason, the very first encounter you hit in any game will most often double, so it'll just be there twice for whatever reason. So you just got to get used to that. But luckily, we've been able to run away from all of these. We do have a chance of not being able to run away and taking some damage, which would not be ideal, but we can still make that work. And this is going to be our boss fight, so we're going to save for safety, and then we're going to enter. It's going to be 2 small rats and a giant rat. The people in my community refer to this rat as Chuck, as in Chuck E. Cheese. So if you ever pop by my stream and you reference Chuck, you will be welcome with open arms. But we're going to take out the small rats first with 1 quick spell. And then we're going to focus on the larger rat here. Luckily, he's given us a couple misses, and we got a crit, so that's really good, actually. We're in really good shape. We are going to be able to 3-shot it, actually, without having to heal at all, which is really, really good. Now, like I mentioned, it is crucial that we do not hit an encounter from this point forward for the next few minutes, at least. So, unfortunately, if we do hit an encounter, which it's partially in my control and partially out of my control. But if we do hit an encounter, that's why I saved there. We're going to have to reset, fight that boss again, and then give it all another shot. Set up the glitch. And I'll explain why that is as we go forward here. So you're going to see me stop moving here for a little bit and wait for some encounters to spawn. That way I don't run directly into them. There we go, playing it a little bit careful there. Yep, see? We're gonna have to give that a restart now. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Like I said, the game is notorious for having encounters just pop immediately onto you without any control that you can manage. So that will happen sometimes. But that is why we have the save. I knew as soon as we got the crit that it was too good to be true, honestly. But a miss is still good there. So we just gotta run through this fight again and try to make our way out without hitting any counter. Now we get to showcase a little glitch here, which we didn't get to do before because we didn't have to heal. So the glitch is called an enemy attack skip. When you use an item or flee, use the flee option on a solo enemy such as this big rat now that the small ones are down. We do a glitch called enemy attack skip, which is where we input A or B on specific frames between turns, and what that will do is it will actually skip the rat's turn and go right back to our turn. That just makes it so, you know, we skip it. We not only do we not get damage there, which is great, but it saves some time on the actual turn skip itself. Alright, take two on this. Try our best. That's what I was waiting for. Alright, that's one screen down. Let's see if we can get through the second screen without getting hurt. There we go. So far, so good. Alright, that was really close to us. I don't like that. Now, you'll see a lot in the run that I'm going to hug the top walls of things, if possible. Notice that... Oh, jeez. Notice that it's going to shrink our text box, to our hitbox, to being very small. Unfortunately, I thought that was going to be fine, but it was not quite small enough, so we're going to give this a third shot here. You guys love seeing Chuck, right? Chuck E. Cheese? Who doesn't love Chuck E. Cheese? If it starts to get really, really ridiculous, I do have a safety save that we can fall back on, of course, but trying to avoid using it.
Would now be an alright time to read a quick donation?
Absolutely. Get it. Let's get it going.
Alright, well, we have actually two donations. We have $5 from Young Thung Fish that says, "Hey, Conception, good luck on the run, and don't forget to talk to Nick." And then we have another, we have a $20 donation from Ryu6 that says, "It's gotta be Squirtle."
Absolutely.
So that... That donation does put Squirtle in the lead now with $20 for the Pokemon Puzzle League Pokemon Bid War. So if you would like to see either Bulbasaur or Pikachu, get your donations in for those. Bulbasaur is in second place with $5, and Pikachu hasn't seen any love. So if you love Pikachu, get your donations in for Pikachu, or if you want to see Bulbasaur, or if you're a part of the Squirtle squad, continue to get your donations in for those.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for the donations as well. Keep them going. This is such a great cause that we're raising money here for. Couldn't be happier to be a part of it. So let's get those money in, meet some of those, get some of those bid wars really competitive, meet the rest of the donations. I don't even know if there are any. I know we've been doing really well, so just keep them coming. I did unfortunately get crit on the last one. I don't know if you guys caught that while they were reading donations, so this is going pretty well so far. Hey, we did get a crit there. Alright. We're gonna try this again. Let's get some of that good RNG in the chat. Channel your inner wizard, Witcher wizard, whatever magic we need to get through this. let's keep this encounterless here. So far, so good. Yeah, so shrink our text box by touching the top of the walls here. Alright. And we're good. There we are. Better late than never. All right, so now we're safe for the rest of the run, pretty much, in terms of things that can absolutely destroy us. There are some things that RNG will affect our timing, but nothing that's going to really obliterate us. So basically, the reason why, as we're just shopping for our necessary school supplies here, as well. So I'll just explain a little bit about what that was. We cannot hit an encounter because for a very important glitch that we're going to set up here in a few minutes, we need our last encounter to be a victory, but not only be a victory, it also has to be a victory against that boss fight specifically. So if we hit another encounter as we leave, our last encounter will not be a victory anymore. It will be just a runaway. So the glitch that we will set up will not work. Now, speaking of glitches, we're going to set up a second glitch here, which is called the infinite card glitch. So we're actually going to use some money to buy one chocolate frog here, go into our inventory, select it, and then hold left while we're pressing A and just mashing it. And we're basically eating that chocolate frog an infinite amount of times so that we are getting a whole bunch of cards. And actually, at each A press after the initial A press that we do gives us 255 cards. So we just have tons and tons of cards, which we'll need to set up a lot of glitches going forward in the run. That glitch was actually just found a week or two ago, maybe. So it's brand new tech for a game that's been out for 20-something years, which is really interesting to see. All right. So we got our equipment there. We got all of our school supplies. So we're just gonna talk to Hagrid to continue on to the next portion of the run, which is to get on the Hogwarts Express. And the Hogwarts Express is going to be where we set up the crucial glitch of the run here. Well, the second part of the glitch of the run, I should say. Alright. So the glitch that we're going to be working on is called the Frog XP glitch. And I'm going to focus a little bit here for just a second while I set it up after this cutscene, and then I'll explain it a little bit more as we're going on. So I'm going to get on the train and I'm going to focus here for a second just to make sure my inputs are good. Okay, so input should be fine there. So what happened there exactly? So, as I mentioned, we needed our last fight to be a victory. The reason being is that this game has a system where we can use what's called the Folio Triplicates to do card combos in battle. Now, those card combos can do a bunch of different things. They can damage, they can heal, they can have interesting random effects and things like that. The vast majority of the times that we use card combos in the game are not for battling whatsoever, which is not how the game is designed. There's actually a glitch. If you go into your inventory and you use a card combo from the Folio Triplicates, it will duplicate the results of the last fight that you encountered. Now, we did that to get a little bit of XP, but when we duplicate that fight and also do a series of inputs on the train that we did, we are going to get this frog fight here with this purple frog. When we complete this purple frog fight, we are going to skyrocket from level 2 to level 90. It's going to give us a massive amount of experience. Then we are going to duplicate that fight again to get us to the level cap, level 99. Alright, and we just duplicate the fight by using the folio again. Alright, and now we are at level cap, level 99, first, 15 minutes or so of the run. Alright, the only other thing that we need to do in this lake, besides trying to dodge encounters as much as we can, is we're going to equip our gloves. It's the only piece of equipment that we're going to use in the game. This game does have like an equipment system where you can get pieces of equipment that will increase your stats in various ways. But we do not use it at all. We don't need to because we're level 99 before we even get in the castle. So we don't really need to worry about that stuff. You'll see me here pausing here as well and unpausing, which just resets the location of the enemies on the screen. So if it looks like I'm about to get hit by an enemy, I'm just going to pause and unpause and they will be out of my way. That goes as well for regular encounters as we're walking, like the little blue wisps of cloud, if you want to call them. You can pause and unpause or select and unselect, and it can reset their position. It is not as frequent. It can just not work for no reason as well. So they kind of tried to do it there, but it didn't work. But we didn't get hit with it anyway, so it's not a big deal. But the reason why we have to equip the gloves there is there are two instances that wearing the gloves are going to save us some time here. The first instance will be during our herbology class. We have to pick up a mandrake root from the ground, and the game will not permit us to pick it up unless we're wearing gloves. So we have to be wearing gloves to pick it up. The second thing is during our transfigurations class, we'll see as we get ahead, there's going to be a purple rabbit to deal with. If we are not wearing gloves, we actually have to fight the purple rabbit in order to capture it for the class. But when we're wearing gloves, we can just pick it up without fighting it, which saves us a bunch of time. But as you can see there, if you caught a glimpse, our health is close to 800, our magic power is at like 930. That's because we are level capped. And finally, we're in the castle. Personally, I don't understand why we need to go to wizard school now. It seems like we've got it all under control, but what are we gonna do? This is a nice little cutscene with sorting, which everyone kind of knows what happens if you follow with Harry Potter at all and know the lore whatsoever. So if there is any like donations or plugs that need to be happening, now's a great time for that too.
Well, there are no donations at this time. We just want to let you know a little bit about who we are. So we are Midwest Speed. Midwest Speed Fest is a Minnesota-based organization that has been hosting speedrun marathons since 2015. In the summer and winter, we partner with 2DCon and VGMCon, respectively, to help raise money for their chosen charities and bring even more entertainment to their conventions. In the spring and fall, we host online events, also in support of charity. So far, we've raised over $15,000 for our various charities, and we hope to see that number continue to grow exponentially with your support. If you're enjoying the marathon, please consider following Midwest Speed Fest. In addition to our seasonal speedrun marathons, we interview a runner every Wednesday evening as part of our Runner Spotlight series, and occasionally have a backup run showcase in which we invite runners to show off a submission that didn't quite make the main schedule. Consider subscribing to Midwest Speed Fest or cheering bits. All Twitch revenue we receive during this event will go to the OI Foundation. If you have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free. And if you would like to stay up to date on Midwest Speed Fest events, you can follow our Twitter at twitter.com/MWSpeedCrew. You can also join our Discord to get updates and chat with runners and staff. Type !Discord in chat or check our Twitch bio for a link.
All right, that was an absolute elite plug. Thank you so much, Zojalix, for that. You're truly one of the elite ones. All right, so cutscene over now. We got to do a couple things. So we got to get to Gryffindor, but we're gonna make a couple pit stops along the way. As I mentioned before, herbology. One of our classes is herbology, and that class is gonna have us pick up a bunch of different herbs actually. So we're actually gonna grab 2 herbs in the castle on our way up to Gryffindor Tower, just to make it a little bit easier for us when we get to the class. So first one is in this classroom here, in the bookcase. We just grab the wormwood, trying to avoid encounters if possible, just because it's slow. And we got it. So then we're gonna make our way up here. The great thing about traveling in this game a good amount is that there are shortcuts that take you to all the floors all over the place. So we're gonna take a shortcut here in the reverse side of this griffin. Then we're going to take the staircase down, and then the next staircase up, which will be the top floor. 7th floor, which is where Gryffindor Tower is. On the 7th floor, before we head to Gryffindor, we're going to stop in another classroom here to get another herb. Now this one is notorious for always making me hit an encounter just to lose some time here, but it looks like we're going to get out free, which is good. Now, unfortunately, we do have a little fetch quest that we have to do in order to get to Gryffindor. And it's only triggered by trying to talk to the fat lady here. She says, you need the password. We don't have the password, so now we have to get it. And what that involves is it involves getting a necktie for Nearly Headless Nick so he can keep his head on straight. So young Toonfish's donation where he said, remember to talk to Nick, it is very important because we can waste time by just walking right past him. With the thing, assuming that we have the password when we don't. So we do unfortunately have to go all the way back down to the bottom floor, where the Great Hall is, and then walk all the way back up. Luckily, we do utilize a bunch of shortcuts that get us there a little bit faster. But the necktie is in the statue here. And we just head back up the way we came. Now we're going to stop on the 6th floor and talk to Nick, because he's the one that gives us the password. So thank you, young Toonfish, again for remembering to remind me. I'm always good once a stream to forget to talk to Nick, and I'll go right up to Gryffindor, and they'll be like, so do you have the password? And we don't. But Nick is up here. Have a quick combo. Boom, gives us the password. We're good now. Is useful for us is that it duplicates cards to a maximum. We used to save money in the run and then buy chocolate frogs in order to get cards, and then we would only have so much money, we'd only have so many cards to use for duplicating. But since we can now duplicate and have pretty much as many cards as we want to have, we do a quick pit stop on the way down after we sleep from potions to get another card combo called Rain of Bludgers. And Rain of Bludgers is the only card combo in the game that will let you attack multiple enemies at once. It's kind of like an AoE spell, think of it that way. And that's going to be useful for a lot of fights. It's going to speed up a lot of things in the run. So we're going to go down to the 5th floor here. Get on the corner and go down here and talk to this person who will give us the card combo for free. Basically, the qualification is that you have to find Gryffindor Tower in order to get that card combo, so we have to go to sleep first. And then head back out. And it's easiest to do on our way to our first class, which will be Potions. Potions is in the dungeon where we just were, so we just have to head back down. You'll see me walking diagonally a lot here too as well. Moving diagonally is just the fastest way to move. Covers more surface area in a faster amount of time. Just all about maximizing the movement. Now, when we do our class schedule here, it's also important to note that this is a very bad day for Neville Longbottom. So, for whatever reason, this is our first day of school. Everyone else is sitting down, and Neville is brewing a potion. We don't know why. Look what happened. It explodes in his face, and he's on the ground. Our potions class has now become find an antidote for Neville by collecting the ingredients and then bringing them to Snape to make. So we need to get 3 ingredients. Luckily, 2 of them are in Snape's office adjacent to the classroom, so that makes it easy. We're going to wait here for an encounter and hope that it is snakes, which it is. We're going to use that Rain of Bludgers card combo to attack all 3 snakes at once. And we're hoping to see as a reward from the fight is Snake Fangs. That is one of the ingredients that we need. Now, it is RNG as to when they drop, so there's a chance that they don't drop here at all. Luckily, we got 2 of them. So that's good. We only need 1, but we got 2. And the second one is the Boomslang skin, which if you caught it just quickly, we talked to that snake poster and it's just attached to the snake poster. Very easy. The third and final ingredient is going to be outside in Hagrid's hut. So we have to go outside the castle onto the grounds and walk to Hagrid's hut here. We can hit an encounter On the outside here, you see that they can kind of pop here, so we just kind of do our best to dodge them. Luckily, this is a wide open space that can spawn literally anywhere on the screen, so it makes it so it's less likely to like spawn on top of you as it is, say, a narrow hallway section or something like that. Third ingredient we need is beetle eyes, and we do need 2 sets, so we're gonna, luckily these spawn in the same spot every time. They're just these 2 bushes. And then we just have to head back up and turn them into finished potion. Yep, so you can't hit an encounter there. You're just gonna flee. Every encounter does add somewhere between like 5 to 7 seconds, depending on if you can run away first turn or not, so... It is pretty RNG based there. Alright, so back to Snape's classroom. Turn in the ingredients, and we're golden. For some reason too, as you can see now, Neville is fine. He's standing up, he's all good. So, mysterious. That's all I'm gonna say about it, is mysterious. Alright. So, down we go. Next class we're gonna do is the flying class, which is gonna be obviously not in the castle, it's gonna be outside. We are going to make another tiny pit stop on the way. We're gonna head just pretty much straight down here. Again, trying to avoid encounters if we can. We're gonna press A on this bush, and notice that my feet animation is not moving. I'm just kind of like gliding across the ground. We like to call that swag, or just a glitched movement. Doesn't do anything, doesn't save time or anything, but looks cool, so it is swaggy. So this is part 2 of why Neville Longbottom has a terrible day. He is gonna try to fly. It's not gonna go well for him. And boom. His poor wrist, it's gone. It's not gone, but it's broken. So he's got to go to the hospital wing, and if you've seen the movie, you know, Draco picks up his Remember All, and we have to chase him, which will incur us into a auto-scroller. Who doesn't love a good auto-scroller? I'm actually going to focus a little bit on this, though, because it is hard to get in a fast cycle, just because the bushes spawn very quickly and can have multiple on the screen at any given time. We're trying to get to Draco as fast as we can without hitting them. Yeah. I'm usually good to hit somewhere between 1 and 5, so hitting 0 almost never happens. Yeah, see, I could have gone greedy there, but there we go. 2 is fine. 2 is pretty quick. It's actually funny, too. You can just set your controller down at that point, and if you lose, the story will still progress. It's fine. It's just really slow to do it that way, so we don't do it. Alright, so we're gonna walk around that little thing. Alright, so we're heading straight across. Next class is going to be Herbology, which, like I had talked about before, we've been picking up herbs for it this whole time. Herbology is going to have us picking up, basically filling out an herb book that of, I think it's 6 herbs total, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 herbs. And we're actually going to head into the class only needing 2 more of them, and as soon as we enter the class, 1 will spawn in a tree right next to it, so we're going to grab this one. And now we only need 1 herb, which is the mandrake root I had mentioned before. Unfortunately, it does not spawn until we've activated the class. It's the only herb that we do that does that. We do have to go through the cutscene, go through the motions, then go outside, get the mandrake root, which is right in the garden outside the greenhouse, and then come back in. But it does make the class really quick, so. Alright, outside we go. Grab that mandrake root. Again, would not be able to grab it if we didn't have gloves on, so that's why we need to equip those. And we just head back inside. All of the students are mysteriously gone. Hard to believe they finished that class faster than I did, but somehow they did. We do find out from Professor Sprout, the herbology teacher here, that the class is not finished until we go talk to Snape and get some potion recipes for the herbs we just collected. so we do have to go talk to Snape again in order for the class to finish. Luckily, for whatever reason, when you walk in that little castle segment, exterior castle, I should say, no encounters seem to spawn, and I don't really know why. So you're not really in danger of hitting anything, which is good. But Snape is in his office here. We're just going to talk to him, get our potion recipes and herbologies. Next class we're going to do is Transfiguration, which is just another simple fetch quest. I believe I alluded to it earlier with the purple rabbit. Basically, a purple rabbit escapes the class and you have to go catch it and bring it back. Easy as that. We also get a classic moment here with Dumbledore. He passes by, one of the only times we see him in the game. We ask him if he's seen a purple rabbit, and he just says, "No, but I've certainly like to." Infinitely helpful. Alright, so we just head back out to the castle exterior. The rabbit is going to be just to the left when we exit, and it's RNG. We could get it really close to the wall. It could be as far away as we can. It's like moderately far away, so that's where we get. We're going to head down and around so we don't hit that encounter. You'll see sometimes on the screen a select box will buffer that will just tell us where we are. If you press select, that's what happens, but what I'm doing there is I'm pressing select in hopes that it will reset the encounter location. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's always worth trying, because it's faster to do that than to walk around an encounter. But there we are. Transfiguration is done, and now we have, I think, the most annoying class of the run, which is Charms. Now, Charms is a memory game that we have to do in order to learn Wingardium Leviosa. It's very long. It changes every time, so it's not a set pattern that you can memorize. And in fact, whenever I do marathon runs, and runs in general often, I will actually write down the movements, because it's just a simple memorizing up, down, left, right, just in case I screw it up. So I'm going to focus kind of on this for a second as we're doing it to make sure I don't screw it up. So we do 3 patterns to lift the feather up. Each pattern adds 2 new movements. This is a pretty easy one, so you think it might be over, but no. Now we have to do a book. Yeah, it's gonna do the same thing, adding 2 each time. Luckily, they've been pretty easy. So you think we might be done now. But no! We have to do a stool now. Luckily, that was really easy. 4 ups in a row. That's good.
Is now a good time for a quick donation?
Sure thing. Scared me a little bit. Go ahead.
All right, we have $20 from Rillabelle that says gaming. Thank you so much for your donation.
Very cool. Thank you for that donation. And we finally finished that minigame. Yeah, unfortunately, it is randomized every time we do it, so there's not set patterns to remember, which makes it a very annoying class. If you fail it, you just have to redo it, but it just wastes so much time because it is so long. Next class we're going to be dealing with is Defense Against the Dark Arts, which we're about to enter, but Peeves, a poltergeist, is going to throw a curse on us here. You're going to see me start blinking orange every few steps, which the curse is actually taking 1 health point away every time that blinks. Kind of think like if you're familiar with Pokemon and your Pokemon is poisoned, it's very similar to that. Luckily, we have like a meat bag of hit points, as we have 800 because we're level 99. So, we're going to take some shortcuts, and basically what we have to do is we have to find the book that cures us of this curse, which is going to be in this classroom up here, and we're going to have a little boss to fight. Which is just this giant here. And if we get a crit on this giant, it actually saves us a good amount of time. Usually it's a 3-shot. If we can crit it and get it in 2 shots, even better. It looks like we didn't, but that's okay. We'll 3-shot it, and we'll be good to go, and we'll have our curse book after defeating the giant. Alright, so we're going to go in our inventory and use it, which removes the curse. It also teaches us a spell called Mucus Ad Nauseam, which is a poison spell. It acts as a poison damage every turn kind of spell, and it actually can stack. So when you cast it once, it does 20 damage every turn to an enemy, 2 times is 30 damage, 3 times is 40 damage, and so on. We're not actually going to use that spell at all until the last 2 fights of the game, but it will be very important for those last 2 fights. But for now, we head back to Quarrel, who is definitely a good person, and that will be the end of Defense Against the Dark Arts. We only have one more class to deal with, which is History of Magic. So we're going to just take this series of shortcuts, which is just the fastest way to get around. Head down here into the History of Magic classroom. Now this class is absolutely bonkers. What's going to happen here is the teacher, who is a ghost, is going to say, hey, we're talking about this famous witch or wizard, and Harry's going to say, hey, I heard about a wizard, somebody was selling a witch or wizard card of that person in Diagon Alley, and the teacher's going to be like, great, go to Diagon Alley and find that card. We're 11. So that's strange. We should be alarmed. But we're back in Diagon Alley nonetheless. We're going to talk to a shady individual who's trying to sell us a card earlier. Definitely not Quirrell. No, not Quirrell. I don't know why you'd think it'd be Quirrell. But anyway, we're going to head back into Gringotts again. This time it is much less scary. Now we are going to have a fight that will look a little bit familiar to you, with just some different skinning on it. We're going to go up here, and the card's going to be in this chest. And oh look, it's Chuck returned, but the colors are inverted now. Luckily, we get to use our Reign of Bludger's card combo, which is going to speed up this fight considerably. Going to take out the 2 smaller rats and do half the amount of damage we need to do to the larger rat. Oh, we got it in the 1-shot. Oh, that's really rare. The Reign of Bludgers can 1-shot if it crits on the big rat. And even so, when it crits on the big rat, it might not work. It might not do enough damage, rather. So that was really rare, and that's actually never happened to me. Count that for the marathon. So we come back down, now that we've gotten the card, we're going to talk to the shady individual again, and head back to Hogwarts where we belong. Everyone is gone. It was pointless for me to get this card for whatever reason, but that's what we have to do to finish the class, so here we are. Alright, so that is luckily the end of our class schedule. So we're back into kind of the story events of the run here. The first being is that Malfoy is a jerk. He wants to fight us, so we're gonna go and fight him, quote unquote. Now, originally, thinking back to the train, the Hogwarts Express, there's actually a fight on there where we're supposed to find Ron, talk to Ron, and then Malfoy comes up and he starts acting like a jerk to us, and then we actually fight Malfoy on the train. But part of the glitch that we do, and not only setting up the extra experience we get from fighting that frog, it also skips all of that. So it's a really fast glitch, very useful. Now, basically, we're going down to fight Draco. We have a little chain of people here joining us. Neville got himself locked out, and Hermione's trying to stop us. Now notice that the castle floors and stuff are dark because it's nighttime now. Now, almost every time, if the castle is dark like this, we should be having encounters pop on the floor now, which it would not do during the daytime. But for whatever reason, in this very first segment, the first time we walk in the darkness in the castle, it doesn't work. There's no encounters. But this is where we're supposed to fight Draco. He's not going to show up, and we're walking in a very specific pattern here in order to dodge cutscene triggers, which we skipped 2 cutscenes in there by doing that. This saves us a good chunk of time, and for some reason we walk sideways there and just skip all those cutscenes. Now, we're going to have another little cutscene here. Iconic moment from the movie or book. It's coming up. And it's Fluffy. Everyone loves Fluffy. Now, we don't do anything with Fluffy here right now. We actually just head right back out. But for whatever reason, after we see Fluffy and we exit that room and come back, encounters will now pop. And we really would like to not hit an encounter right now because we are trying to set up another glitch. If we do hit an encounter, fine, we'll make do. But we really don't want to. So we're basically just trying to run back up into Gryffindor without hitting an encounter. And I'll talk a little bit about the next glitch that we're going to set up once we're out of harm's way here. It's the last time in the run that we're super sensitive to hitting an encounter, which we did, of course. We're gonna have to kill it. So we're just gonna kill this. Make it a little bit easier on us. Fortunately, it's going to be very slow. We're going to try to kill it whenever it's going to let us. Just need some luck. A miss is not a good thing. And unfortunately, I want to use Rain of Bludgers here, but I can't because Rain of Bludgers does not do a lot of damage to turtles. For whatever reason. Also, be very aware of how the turtles like to attack you, which is to shoot fire out of their butt. Do I know why? I don't know why. But since we're here taking this time, it is very important that our next encounter be a victory, and it can't be a victory that we duplicated using a card glitch. So, the last fight before we had encountered these turtles was against the rats and Gringotts. So that was a victory, and that would have been fine. But since we hit an encounter there, if we had run from it, our last encounter would not have been a victory, which means our next glitch would not work. The next glitch being having to deal with the troll in the dungeon. You know, classic scene in the movies and books where a troll comes up and attacks Hermione in the bathroom. We're actually going to skip that fight altogether, but it is completely based on if we have a victory as our last encounter or not, or else it just won't work. It'll soft lock our game. We have another little pause here with the cutscene if we have any other plugs or donations to shoot our way.
Alright, we just want to let you know that MidSpring SpeedFling is being restreamed in French by our friends over at Baguette Restream. They've been working with us for many marathons in a row, and we always appreciate their support. You can find their French restream at twitch.tv/baguette_restream. And we also would like to let you guys know that Midwest Speedfest is partnered with type !Rogue Energy in chat, or check our Twitch bio for a link to the Rogue Energy store where you can buy an energy drink. A portion of your purchase will go to the OI Foundation.
Very good. So we're going to have a cutscene skip here. If we get it successfully, which we did. There's a cutscene where we see the troll walking as well as Snape walking here, which we were able to successfully skip by pausing on a very specific area. And now we're going to work on the troll skip. Well, which we did get. Both of those skips are based on are pausing on this very specific point that the cutscene would be triggered. Now with the Snape cutscene skip that we did, we just have to pause and unpause, and then it'll just skip it all together. For whatever reason, when we do this troll skip, two things have to happen. We have to be a little bit over to the right so we can see Hermione come down from the top of the screen there, or else it'll soft lock us. And we also have to do a pause and go into our inventory instead of just pause and unpause. So that's what we have to do to activate the troll skip. But basically we skipped that Snape cutscene and we skipped the troll fight, and we're looking pretty good here. Sorry, ignore my dog barking in the background. I'm sure that is a casualty of doing these marathons at home. Sometimes we got some dogs barking, so. All right, so we're heading back down to Hagrid's here to just initiate the next part of the story. It's basically just a little bit of a lore dump. But the next segment that we're going to do is Christmas and the Mirror of Erised. So a couple things have changed on this split. So we used to, like I mentioned before, we used to have to go shopping at some point in this game. So what that would entail is us stopping in one of the little stores on the 5th floor to buy some chocolate frogs in order to get cards. We used to do that in one of two spots, depending on how much money we had. We used to do it before potions, or we would do it now if we did not have enough money during potions. So, oops. So luckily we don't have to do that at all anymore. So all that has happened is that Peeves stole our presents and we have to go get them back, which they're not super far away. We just have to go down one floor. And over into this classroom, hallway thing, storage area, whatever you want to call it. And our presents are hidden in this chest. Luckily, that is the same every time. Alright. Now, this is unreasonable just in terms of punishment, I think. Again, this is Christmas and almost everybody else is at home. Harry is obviously not at home and Ron is staying behind this time as well. But we just lost house points for getting our presents back. And I think that's an injustice. I don't think that was right. So, justice for Harry. Let's get the hashtag trending, I think, and we'll get those house points back. All right, with Christmas presents in hand, we're heading back up to our common room, and then we're gonna have a nice little lengthy cutscene here. This is just kind of a slower little section of the game here. Another little fetch quest that we have to do in order to progress the story. This game is decently broken in terms of glitches and exploits, but for whatever reason, the story progression is rock solid. So we do still have to hit like every story beat in order to progress the game. We can't just skip large sections. So we're working on ways to try and make that, similar to an ace trick of some sort. I think, the tricks they've discovered in Ocarina of Time and things like that, which would really cut down the run significantly, but we have yet to find those, so we're working on it. Just a shout out here again during this cutscene. This is a very fun game, and the community is starting to grow a little bit, which is really, really cool. If you're interested in running this game or really any Harry Potter handheld game, we do have our own Discord. It's the Harry Potter Handheld Speedrunning Discord. I highly encourage you join it, even if you're not sure if you want to run it. It's a very welcoming group, very friendly group. And like I said, this game is gaining a little bit of steam, and we're working on getting some new resources out for new runners as well. So if you're interested in joining, feel free to join that, or you can always reach out to me as well for some help. I'm always willing to help new runners in this game. So we got our visibility cloak, so that's why we look like this. And basically, we're going down to the restricted section of the library, which is all the way down on the 2nd floor. So we're just making this long walk. I mentioned before that there are a lot of shortcuts in the game that help us transport faster, as opposed to just walking down each staircase like we're doing now. However, for almost every nighttime segment, the all the shortcuts are locked. So you do have to walk the floors. So we're going to pit stop there and pick up a spell, Petrificus Totalis. Very important for the end game of this. And then we have to trigger the alarm in order to progress the story. Now, you cannot get too close to the librarian there, or you will reset this whole segment. If you come into contact with any teacher, it will reset the entire segment and have to do it over again from the beginning. But we were successfully able to get out of the library. We're gonna go down a couple floors, but if we continue to try to go, rather up a couple floors, and if we continue to try to go up, Filch is gonna block us on this next floor. So we have to make an escape somewhere, which is gonna be in this hallway to initiate the cutscene. And then we have another iconic movie and book moment, which is the Mirror of Eric's Head. Very quick scene here with Dumbledore and Harry seeing his parents in the mirror. And then now that we've triggered this cutscene, Filch has stopped blocking our way, so we can make our way back up safely to the tower. Again, just trying to dodge encounters, Nothing that we need to set up this time, but just trying to dodge them to save time. And we did so pretty well. All right. And that's the end of that segment. Alright, so the next segment is a very long segment here, and it has to do with Hagrid getting a dragon egg for the dragon called Norbert, and basically the next like 10 minutes, or not even 10 minutes, like 7 or 8 minutes or so are dealing with Norbert in 3 different smaller segments. I also like to call this the we're going to Hagrid's split, because we walked down to Hagrid's hut I think 3 different times in just this split alone. So it's just a lot of walking. Just wanted to say again as well, since we got a little lull in time here, thank you guys so much for all the donations and meeting all the incentives so early. I got a notification yesterday, almost 24 hours in advance of this run, that this incentive had been met, and I couldn't be more thankful. It is very hot, it is very sweaty, but I'm still very happy that we were able to come together and raise money for such a good cause. The staff here does such a great job in terms of promoting and doing their best to raise the funds needed for the causes that they care about the most, and I'm just very, very happy to be a part of something that is so important. So just thank you for that. First segment here, as we enter Hagrid's hut, is that we're going to see Norbert hatch out of the egg, and naturally he's hungry, so he's going to need some food. So what we have to do is we have to get Norbert 5 chickens. So we actually have to go outside and fight 5 chickens. Now you would think, hey, that's not so bad, you know, there's actually going to be 3 chickens per encounter, so 2 encounters to get your 5 chickens, right? Unfortunately, no. So each encounter does have 3 chickens in it that we will see, but the reward for defeating those 3 chickens only gives you 1 chicken. So we actually have to defeat a total of 15 chickens in 5 different encounters. And there is a small risk that, for whatever reason we don't know, the game can crash at any point with chickens. So we do a safety save there. Now, another function of that infinite card glitch that I talked about earlier that we found not too long ago is that we can actually use Rain of Bludgers for these fights, and it is a lot faster than what we used to do. What we used to do is we would paralyze the chickens using that Petrificus Totalis spell that we got. Then we would take down each one individually, but we'd have a chance to miss, they'd have a chance to break out of paralysis, and it was just a lot more uncertain. So luckily, with Rain of Bludgers, they can't miss, and it kills all 3 of them at once. It saves us a good chunk of time. But that's our first chicken, and we just go on a series of chicken defeats. I'm not going to say murders, because that seems harsh. But that's our second one. yeah, if there's anything left to shout out for plugs or donations, feel free. Right now is another great time. We got a little lull here.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Anonymous that says #Justice for Harry. And we also have a $15 donation from Marquise Dan that says, Roma told me to donate towards barbecue for Pokemon, so that's what I'm doing. Non capricci. Oh, this is French. Okay, now I see. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, so I don't pronounce it wrong. But thank you so much, Marquise Dan and Anonymous, for your donations.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, those are some great runs that we're donating for, and thank you for donating for Justice for Harry as well. I think he'll get his just desserts in the end, though. All right, so this is the 4th chicken, and we have to defeat one more chicken fight after this, and we'll finally be done with this segment. All right, and just one more. And notice, obviously, we were very strategically placed on the map in order to get the chickens at their spawn point, basically. Just the fastest way of doing that. I think... Oop, this is my old strategy. Whoops. There we go. My theory is that the reason why the game crashes every so often is that we're encountering the chickens too fast for the game to process it, and then sometimes it just shuts down. That's probably my theory as to what's going on. But luckily we didn't get any crash here. Alright, with 5 chickens in hand, we're going to go back into Hagrid's hut here. And hand them over. Now, this is not the end of Norbert. We are still going to have to deal with him a couple more times. But since these are kind of long segments that don't really have to do too much, let me set up what I would argue is probably the second most important glitch in the game. And that glitch is called lighting. Now, when we go down to pick up Norbert for the last time, you're going to see that it's going to be dark, and we're trying to transport Norbert all the way up to the top of the castle, basically to get Norbert out, so that there isn't a dangerous dragon on campus. Now, we're going to try to use a death abuse at that point. And what we do there is we're actually going to save and quit and reset. That clears like the cache of our last encounters, because we can't have it had an encounter in our backlog for this glitch to work. So we save and we reset inside of Hagrid's hut with Norbert in hand. And what that does is we will then use a card combo when we reload. And you're going to notice that we're going to fight 3 versions of ourselves. And we're going to try to defeat ourselves in order to do a death warp to the hospital wing on the 4th floor. We'll talk a little bit more about that as it gets closer, but right now we have our second auto-scroller here, which is Norbert. And you would think Norbert is shooting the fireballs, but we're trying to catch Norbert, so who knows where the fireballs are coming from. The good thing about this auto-scroller in comparison to the Draco one, though, is that there is, for some reason, Norbert gets a little speed boost here that we cannot catch him in one cycle no matter what. So we can actually get hit by 2 to 3 fireballs and not lose any time. So it's a little bit safer. But we actually still got it in the fastest cycle there. Now, this is the segment that I was referring to before. Hermione is going to be assisting us with this, so we are in invisibility cloak, and we do have Hermione right behind us, attached to us like a backpack. It actually does double our hitbox, so hitting encounters becomes more frequent here because it's going to be harder to dodge. So we're going to make our way down to Hagrid's, and we're going to activate that lighting glitch. We're going to, like I said, use a card combo, which will fight 3 copies of ourselves. And basically what we're hoping for is that the Harry that we control gets to go first as opposed to the other Harrys. Now, since we're all Harrys, we all have the same speed, so it's all random as to if it'll work or not. It'll be about a 25% chance for us to succeed. If we do succeed, we will be death warped from Hagrid's hut all the way to the 4th floor. Now, the other key portion of that, and obviously beyond saving all the time for walking from Hagrid's hut all the way up, is that Hagrid's hut is illuminated right now despite it being dark outside. because he's still awake and things like that. So what it will do as well when we activate that Death Warp is that it will actually make the interior of the castle lit up as opposed to dark. So no encounters will spawn on the floors. So that also makes it very safe for us. So that is why we call it lighting, because it illuminates the castle grounds and the castle floors. But first we got to get there. We did unfortunately hit a couple encounters on the way. Just slows us down a little bit. But nothing we can't handle. And like I said, this glitch is very finicky and can just not work no matter what. So we may end up having to just walk instead of doing the Death Warp, which is fine, but we're going to try it a few times because it's still worth trying. Alright, so we're going to save. We're going to quit, reset. We're going to hope we get it. Alright, so if all goes well here, we are just going to take a hit and then we will die out of nowhere. That is not what we want to see, unfortunately. So if we see one of the enemy Harrys move in such a way, it's casting a spell forward. There's nothing forward from Harry, so that means the glitch has failed and we're just going to retry it. Like I said, it's a low chance to work, and that's what makes running at a high level a little bit frustrating, because you can have a great run that is just ruined by this glitch deciding not to function for whatever reason. So we'll try this like maybe two more times, maybe 3 more times, and if it doesn't work, we'll just walk. Basically, we're looking to take some damage here. Not quite. We'll try a different card combo to see if it'll work for us. Not quite. Last try, and then we'll just walk. No, alright. Unfortunately, we didn't get lucky there. So we're just gonna, instead of taking the Death Warp, we're just gonna walk back up. Like I said, it is a very tricky glitch to get, so. Alright, so as we walk up here, if the glitch had worked, we would be on the 4th floor of the castle, and the castle would be eliminated. So it would save us all this walking time, plus take out the risk of hitting encounters on the main floors. But we can only do with what we have, so onward. There is going to be another little cutscene skip that we're going to do once we finally get to the astronomy tower. That is a cutscene with McGonagall and Draco, where Draco's trying to catch us, basically. We can skip it just by walking very carefully. So I will talk a little bit more about that when we get closer. It's not all the way until the 7th floor. Oops, wrong way. I was thinking we were on the 6th floor already. Luckily, we didn't hit any encounters, though. Alright, and this skip is going to be up here, so we're walking diagonally here, and if we just hug the corner and enter the room, we skip the cutscene. Now, originally, when we're doing PB attempts or world record attempts at this game, we're obviously looking to get our lighting on the first shot there, which is the fastest. But we're also looking to not hit any encounters after we activate lighting, because if we're able to do it without activating any encounters, without hitting any encounters, we don't have to reactivate the glitch again. And there's 3 instances that death warping will save us time. So a lot of times we're attempting, when we get to this point, we're trying our hardest to not have hit an encounter. Fortunately, I didn't even get the glitch activated in the first place, so it's not really a problem for us. So we don't have to worry about it too much. So fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. But so we're obviously taking a huge chunk of points away here. The reason I brought up that that glitch that we skip the cutscene with Malfoy and McGonagall. So obviously we saw house points just there, and house points are a thing in this game. And you can lose the house cup, which is in contradiction of the story. However, with how we progress in the game, the only way we would really have lost the house cup is if that cutscene with Malfoy and McGonagall had played, because it causes Slytherin to lose points, which makes the points more random from that point forward. But because we don't ever see any other house gain or lose points in the run, we are set up to guaranteed win the house cup at the end. So we won't get to see that randomness. But there is, if you do fail that skip, which will probably cost you like 9 seconds or so, it does make it interesting that you will probably lose the house cup after that, which is kind of interesting. Alright, so basically, after all that nonsense, we got caught. We're in detention. Detention's in the Forbidden Forest. We got to make our way down. Again, if lighting had worked, this would all be bright outside instead of dark. But it didn't work, so here we are. We got fortunate there that we didn't hit any encounters, which is pretty cool. But now we're going to enter the Forbidden Forest, which is probably my least favorite part of the run. Like I said, a lot of times we're trying to get through this Forbidden Forest without hitting any encounters, which is really difficult because there's a lot of narrow passageways that we have to walk through. So a lot of times if you get a run here, which is very close to the end, then you get a little stressed out. But stress is gone right now, which is good. The forest is dark no matter what, so even if we did have lighting, the forest would be dark like it is. We do grab a potion there, and now we're going to swag across the screen here. That potion is a pepper up potion, which is heals magic points, which will be a little bit useful for us towards the end if we're running a little bit low. The downside to us level capping so early is that we will never level up in the run again, which means that beyond death warps, our health and our magic points would never regenerate. So it does become a little bit difficult to manage that towards the end, but that's why we grab a potion or two for safety. Alright, so yeah, we're going to talk to the centaurs here. Another little cutscene. If we have any, this is all just movement and trying to dodge encounters with little cutscenes in between. So if we have any other donations, shout-outs, or plugs that we want to deal with, Zojalix, you're more than welcome to.
All right, well, we have no donations at this time. I'm going to take a little bit and remind you guys about our bid wars we have. We have our Minecraft, who's going into the Nether bid war right now. Nina is ahead with $20 and Rasu's behind with 15. So if you want to send another one of them into the Nether, get your donations in for that. That donation bid war is coming to a close here very, very soon. So you definitely don't want to wait on that one. We also have our Pokemon Puzzle League bid war. Squirtle is still ahead with $20 and Bulbasaur is ahead with 5. So you guys are, if you want to see either Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or Pikachu, get your donations in for those. Pikachu still has not seen some love. Let's see some love for Pikachu. It would be wonderful. Everybody loves Pikachu, so get your donations in for that. And then we also have our Pokemon Red and Blue Charizard name. Currently in the lead, we have Elite Gamer with $140. I still don't understand why you guys donated that much money for that. But either way, Get your donations in to see more of that. Barbecual is in second with $67, with Pikachu in third for $55. So if you would like to see more, if you would like to see your favorite Pokemon be named for Charizard, get your donations in for those ASAP, because those bid wars are going to be coming to a close here very, very soon.
Very cool. Yes, I'm very excited for that that Pokemon Red reverse badge acquisition run. I'm actually going to be assisting with commentary for Etienne, who's running that game. He's a very talented runner, and that category is insane. So you're going to want to stay for that. It's the finale of the stream for a reason. But thank you for getting those donations in. Let's get those bid wars up and running. Let's make them competitive. Let's get them excited. We've actually gotten pretty lucky so far in this forest not to hit any encounters. This would have been great if lighting had worked. So I'm pretty happy thus far. We'll see if we are able to continue it through the end. We're actually through all the cutscenes that happen in the forest. We just have to get out of it alive, basically. But basically what happens there, for anyone who's not aware of the lore, Voldemort is feasting on some unicorn. Unicorn gives blood. The unicorn blood gives eternal life at the cost of like a cursed life, basically. But Voldemort doesn't care about that. So we see Voldemort, we pass out, and then we get saved, and then we just have to make it all the way back. We're nearing the end of the run here. We're going to be at the end gauntlet here pretty soon after this segment. We are going to be getting ready to attempt the lighting glitch for our second time coming up here. Hopefully we can get it. We're going to try this one probably only like 2 or 3 times max. If it doesn't work, we'll just walk again. But I really would like to show you the glitch working if the game wants to cooperate. And like I said, unfortunately, it's not anything in terms of inputs or anything that I can control. The glitch will work if it wants to work, basically. So we're going to go up here. We're going to enter Hagrid's hut. We're going to save. And I'm actually going to hard reset this time. See if that helps us a little bit with our RNG. Alright, so again we're looking to see our Harry take damage. Even if it says 0, it'll still work. So we're just looking. That's what we want. Glitch is effective. Here we go. So now the castle is lit up. You can see that here. And we are on the 4th floor. The great thing about this as well with that lighting work is, for whatever reason, this is the only segment where it's supposed to be dark. Again, it's light, but it's supposed to be dark. But for whatever reason, the shortcuts are open instead of locked. So we can actually take a shortcut right from the 4th floor to the 7th floor. And you're going to notice here as we go down, because it's supposed to be dark in here, Hermione's hair is all screwed up. And so is Ron's, kind of. It's supposed to be more red. So that's a little visual glitch for you. Alright, so the only instance that we can lose not being able to use lighting again for free is if we hit an encounter going from here back into the castle. So we're going to really hope we don't hit an encounter. And if we don't, then we can utilize the Death Warp again for free without having to reset. So let's hope. Ah, we tried. Bad luck, bad luck. I will try to do that Death Warp one more time. But, because we will have one more. But we are in the in-game portion of this game now. So we're getting ready to do, if you're familiar with the story, the kind of gauntlet that is the end, where we have, we go down the trapdoor past Fluffy, and we do all of the teacher's challenges in order to get to the Sorcerer's Stone. That is coming right up, starting with Devil's Snare. But first we just have to do a couple cutscenes. And then, like I said, we are going to try to do that Death Warp. It's really unfortunate that we hit an encounter there, but it's literally the only segment that could have ruined that for us, and then it did. So this game is nothing beyond brutal for RNG sometimes, but there's nothing you can really do about it. Alright, so we make our way back up to the Gryffindor common room in order to progress the story. Alright, so the death warp that happens here is after Hermione paralyzes Neville. We would use the lighting glitch mechanics again. It does not, this time it will not make the castle light up because we're in the dark, but it will death warp us from the common room right to the door where Fluffy is, if we can do it successfully. We're gonna try it here. Again, we would not have to have reset at all here if we did not hit that encounter. So it is unfortunate that we did, but here we are. So hopefully it works. If not, then we'll just reset and walk. Yeah, that's alright. This one is minor. It doesn't save as much time. It does save time, but not as much. This one's not the end of the world. Because we only have to go from floor 7 to floor 3. That's all. Alright. But it does save us time, and then obviously if we hit encounters, that just makes the time loss even more. So but that's okay. Nothing wrong with a good walk of shame. It keeps you humble. Alright, this is floor 4, and we'll just be on floor 3, ready to go. At least we got to see how the lighting glitch works. I am happy that we at least got to see it once. Alright, there we are. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to have is Devil Snare here. And we're going to be doing a very specific fight. Hopefully we get a crit that will save us some time here. But Devil Snare has one big plant and 2 small plants, like so. What we're going to do is the first spell we're going to cast is going to be Petrificus Totalis, which handily paralyzes everything, not just one. Then we're going to take out the small tendrils. The reason why we paralyze, obviously, is because we don't want them to have a turn. It just takes more time. Unfortunately, it did break out there, so we do have to cast Petrificus one more time, which makes it a bit slower, but if we're able to get a crit on the big one, which probably won't happen since we just crit uselessly on the small one, then we will save a turn. Yeah, oh well. There we are. That's the Devil Snare. Alright, now the next challenge is really annoying. So it's not an auto-scroller this time, but it is another flying minigame where we have to get the right key, which is all the way at the top of the screen. And there are just tons of other bogus keys that will just really obstruct your path. So we actually just hug the wall over here and then hold up in hopes that RNG has not so many keys on the edge of the screen. Or even if they do, if they fly off the edge of the screen, they usually won't come back. We're not getting the best RNG here, which is pretty in line with how the rest of the runs behave, but not too bad. That challenge is done. The next challenge here is the Wizard's Chess. So we don't actually get to play chess here, unfortunately, but we will fight 3 chess pieces, and anytime we get a crit on any of these pieces, it will help save us at least 1 turn, unless that is obviously the last turn that we would have fought them. So we're hopeful to see some orange numbers here. Yeah, not in this one. This is a typical 3-turn fight, so no crits here. Oh, of course, we get the crit on the last attack. Luck is with me today. Luck is with me. So next we fight the castle. So that was the knight, and then the castle, and then we fight the king. The castle is also a 3-turn fight without crits, so we're hopeful to get a crit here to make it helpful for us a little bit. That's the opposite, so now it becomes a 4-turn fight because we missed. Lovely game. See if we can get a little crit help. Nope. Alright, so this fight took 1 turn longer than it was supposed to. 2 turns longer than it was supposed to. Oh, man. Me and this game have a love-hate relationship, that's for sure. Alright, one more chess piece here. Luckily, our flying minigame was not... It actually wasn't terrible. It was probably middling. It can go really poorly, but it was okay. Alright, now this one is a 5 to 6 turn fight, unless we get a crit or 2. Health is getting very low, so I am a little concerned about that, but we do have some potions to potentially help us. And it looks like this might end up being a 6-turn fight, unfortunately. Oh no, never mind, it's a 5-turn. We're good. So we didn't get any crit help, but we did get a couple misses, so that does slow us down a little. But we only have 2 things left in the run. So we have this one. We have a little potions mini game here, which does not take very long, but we are going to save just in case. We are going to grab that potion for safety because our health is a little bit low, like I said. A save here just in case. And then this is just a game of Mastermind, basically.
Is now a good time to read some donations?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
All right, we have a $25 anonymous donation. We have another $10 anonymous donation that says Elite Gamer. And we have a $20 donation from TRS Crazy P that says, let's have an awesome last day. So thank you guys so much for all of your donations. And just so you know, we are creeping closer and closer to the 4K mark. Let's see if we can hit 4K here really close. We are extremely close. We are less than $300 away from $4,000, and we are less than $1,000 from our goal of 4,500, which will be beating our record from Midwinter Speed Sprinter 2020. So let's get even closer. Let's see us break that goal. I think we can easily do it. It's super achievable. Let's see it happen.
Oh, absolutely. That is a goal that we should be achieving easily. So let's get this done. Absolutely. 2 fights in the game, and that's all we have left. Coral is first. We are going to paralyze Coral, and then we're going to use this poison spell 3 different times. Luckily, when you use a poison spell, typically it does not break them out of paralysis. That was just coincidental there. And like I said, each time we cast a poison spell, it stacks damage and makes it a little higher. Oops, I paralyzed for no reason there, but that's okay. Alright, and then we're going to do the enemy attack skip glitch that I referenced earlier. Now, when you have a poison stack, you can continuously press A on the enemy attack skip segment, and it won't skip their turn repeatedly, but that poison damage will continue to stack. And that is how we are going to wipe out our bosses here. So, Coral is done, and then this is going to be the last fight. Time will be after the Voldemort fight ends. So we're going to paralyze, same structure. We're going to paralyze, poison, poison, and poison. And we're actually going to use a pepper up potion here just in case we have to reparalyze, which we will. I'm going to use a health potion just for safety. And get ready for time, and time. Just under the mark. That was pretty much as unlucky of a run as you can get in terms of glitch activation and glitches working and things like that. and we still finished just slightly under estimate, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to keep you guys too long. I know we're trying to get things back on schedule here, so just wanted to shout out a few things. Feel free, like I had mentioned, please join that Harry Potter handheld speedrunning Discord. There is 2 different Discords if you're looking to play the console versions or PC versions, and then the handheld versions that are separate. But we we continue to look for more runners of this game. It's growing slowly, and we just want to continue to pump up how cool of a run this game is. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me on Discord, or you can whisper me in Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/conception2. Feel free to drop a follow or sub there, and I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. But thank you guys so much again to the Midwest crew here for putting on such an excellent event, and I can't wait to see where we end up, and stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Conception, for that run. Coming up next, we have SpongeBob SquarePants Battle